Hello and welcome everyone joining us today for this special webinar presentation from Chris Stock, CEO of PCLaw Time Matters. My name is Cameron Grooms. I'm the VP of Marketing for PCLaw Time Matters, and I'll be your host for today's session. All of our attendees will be in listen-only mode for the duration of our presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them via the questions pane located on your webinar control panel. Also, please take the time to download your copy of this webinar presentation in the handout section right below the questions pane. Please note that we are recording today's webinar and all attendees will receive an email tomorrow with a link to this webinar recording and the PCLaw Time Matters remote work package resources discussed in today's presentation. We understand that our PCLaw Time Matters customers are likely taking measures to provide flexible working options for themselves and their staff due to the recent events related to COVID-19. Your health and safety and the success of your business remains our highest priority during this time. We understand that working from home may be brand new to some of you, so we have been working on providing a holistic remote work package for you all so that you can easily adjust to this new work schedule. It's quite funny, before this webinar started, my neighbors started mowing their lawn, and I mentioned to Chris, how appropriate that was just for this webinar. So please bear with us if you see any pets run across the camera or if any other distractions occur. It's just the new reality that all of us are facing right now. Chris will be providing much more detail about all of the remote work packages resources, but before he does, I would like to give him a formal introduction. Chris Stock is the Chief Executive Officer of PCLaw Time Matters and serves on the PCLaw Time Matters Board of Directors. Chris commenced his legal technology software career in 2008 with Leap Legal Software. He was responsible for establishing Leap in the UK as a general manager and in the US as the CEO. Before working in the legal technology software industry, Chris worked in conveyancing both in government and in several law firms. His last role in this field involved managing the conveyancing team at one of the most recognized property law firms in Australia. At age 22, Chris was elected for a 3-year term as a councillor of the Hume City Council in Melbourne, Australia. Chris is also a member of the Forbes Technology Council. Now at this time, Chris, I'd like to turn the presentation over to you.
Thank you very much, Cameron. Thank you everybody for joining us today during what is an unprecedented and very, very difficult time for the world. We have spent a lot of time over the last few weeks preparing our business for the effects of COVID-19, and much of our business has been formed to work from home in the event of an emergency anyway. So we have had the vast majority of our team working from home now for almost 2 weeks, and we thought we'd present you with a webinar that, for want of a better term, provided you a warts and all look of what it's like for us to be working at home. We're all in this together, we're all in the same situation, and we wanted to share our home environments with you. It's funny, when you think about what the world's going through at the moment. 3 weeks ago, my most important goal in as far as couples life went was getting ready for my wedding in June. And overnight, our most important goal became having a proper workspace, a proper his and hers workspace. So that became our immediate priority. So priorities are changing around the world at the moment, and we recognize very much that working from home is now becoming the norm. This webinar today is not purely focused on what a regular webinar would be focused on. A lot of webinars that you attend really have an underlying sales focus to them. What we are aiming to deliver to you today is information that's going to help you utilize the tools you already have at your disposal so that you can work from home comfortably, you can maintain an efficient business, and ensure that your business comes out the other end of this time as best as it possibly can. In some instances, businesses are able to come out better if they take the right precautions now. We also want to provide some real life assistance when it comes to setting up and working from home. I've moved countries several times. Every time I've moved countries, I've set up a home office. I've learned a lot doing that. I've spent a year working from home as well, which can be incredibly difficult. And what we'd like to share are some of the things that we've learned that can help you do a really good job of preparing yourself to work from home, both technologically, emotionally, mentally, and as it relates to your business as well. So today we'll be taking you through a few things. Firstly, we'll be going through the remote options that PCLaw and Time Matters users have at their disposal already. Some of them you may not know about. Some of them have been around for some time. Some of them we are going to commence working on with a renewed vigor, given the changes in the world today. So to start with, I'd like to talk a little bit about PCLaw Go and Time Matters Go. PCLaw Go and Time Matters Go are our native mobile applications, native to iOS and Android. They have been available for some time. One of the things about Go is it's really been designed purely as a time recording application. So we understand that it can be very, very useful for PC law firms when working from home. But what we also understand is that Time Matters firms using Time Matters may be best serviced by some additional functionality. So last week, as it relates to Time Matters, a calendaring functionality was demonstrated to me for the first time. And that is something we're working on to get out to the market sooner rather than later. We're also working on a number of new features that will provide a much greater working from home experience in the Go application. Obviously, when we think about how our lives are changing in the legal profession, we're not spending as much time at courts right now as the courts are no longer open. So we are able to pivot our development strategies from where they were headed, which was very much revolved around being able to work well on the go, whether you practice in real estate, litigation, family law, to being able to function inside your home, particularly because nobody really knows when we'll all be back at work again. I will also give a quick demonstration as to how these different options may work. I will point out that, again, this is a live demonstration. We may have cats jumping around in the background, and I'll be doing it on live technology as well. I prefer to do these demonstrations on live technology rather than videos. I find they're more helpful for the attendees. So I mentioned Go. The other option that we have available is a product that was previously called PCLaw and Time Matters Mobility. It's now being rebranded as PCLaw Web and Time Matters Web. This, along with the Go product, can be set up with the assistance of our support team. There are instructions available in our communities page, which I will talk about a little bit more in a moment. But to give a bit of an overview, our communities page is where all of our customers can go for help for anything that they need, from setting up Go to an error when reconciling a bank account. But right now, we do have this web interface available. You'll see that the interface is going to require a little bit of work to make it look beautiful. When I demonstrate it in a moment, what you will see is that it does allow you to do a lot more from home without having to use a setup that is something like a terminal server setup. Some firms out there may already have terminal server setups to be able to work from home. That's fine. But right now, avoiding unnecessary expensive setups are things that we are looking to assist you in doing. And these are some practical options that you can implement at a much lower cost. Over time, we will be putting a lot of effort into the web version that I'm going to show you today. Next week, we have our next development team strategy, where we largely expect that there will be a pivot to rapid development on Go and web. One of the good things about web platforms and iOS and Android platforms is that you can generally respond more quickly to market changes when it comes to developing software. They don't have a lot of the same stringent hardware requirements that on-premise software have. But to be clear, these products are a complement to the on-premise products, but the front end that we're working on will be able to be pushed out more quickly than an on-premise front end would be. Now, Just going to take you to a screen that shows you the web version and the Go version. So here we have the web version of PCLaw. And here we have PCLaw. So here they are lined up next to each other. The other thing we have for mobility is our Go application. So I'm just going to share my phone with you now. Okay, so there are mobile applications available for PCLaw and Time Matters, and right now they look very similar. As I mentioned earlier, we will be putting some calendaring functionality into Time Matters Go. We are very much interested in feedback about what you think could enhance your work from home experience, and our feedback will go directly to our product team, any feedback that you provide us. So after this session today, if you go away and think about things that would really be good to have in your mobile phone that are available currently in PCLaw and Time Matters Desktop, we would absolutely love to hear about it. So what you'll notice is, firstly, being geared towards time entry, I'll push the new time entry button, and I can start running a timer, or I can set a regular duration. So let's say we've done something that's taken an hour. When we click on our matters option, this actually calls back to our on-premise PCLaw database to populate a list of matters. So selecting this wills file for my good friend Stephen, or being Australian Stevo, it will bring up a task list where we can select from our list of tasks. So I have a whole task list here. So let's say we're doing some billable work. So what it's now doing is collecting the current rates set for the PCLaw matter from the on-premise database that's sitting in your office. We can add our explanation code. Live demos, you never know what's going to pop up on your phone. So let's say we want to communicate with the client. Done. And you hit send to PCLaw. And that time entry will now populate into PCLaw. So I'm just going to close out of the share so that we can focus a little bit more on the web version. So what you'll see here is there's a website that you can go to called PCLawmobility.PCLTM.com. For Time Matters, that's timemattersmobility.PCLTM.com. And you will see that these links are available. You will see that these links here are available in our, right here, in our slideshow. So let's just sign in here to Mobility, sign into PCLaw. I have so many different passwords, I always hope I enter the right one. So while PCLaw is opening, what you'll see is in the web application, and this is a pure web application, which means that it is available in Chrome, Firefox, Safari. And I find that working in legal profession, quite often a lot more people use Edge than we expect. And the reason that people use Edge a little bit more is it's the default browser that comes with our operating system, and there's not necessarily a need to change that. So we always make sure that anything we create for the web does work with Edge. Now, if we look at our matters here on the web, so we just click on our matters list. And you'll see it displays. I only have one matter at the moment for the purpose of this demo. If I go into this Wills matter here, for my good friend Steve-O, you'll note that we've got related records in here, and this gives you access to your data so that you can create matters, amend matters, edit records, add time. You can even attach your document file storage system so that you can access documents. Now, as I did mention, this does take some setup. I noticed that we do have some of our CICs on the session today. Our CICs are up to speed with setting this up. I did note Circle Management online. I know that Circle Management do have experience in setting this up. And I will point out that with the new work from home strategy that's taking place at the moment, our focus has really pivoted largely to improving this particular tool. So you will start seeing things like new interfaces, speed increases, all sorts of performance optimization. But at the moment, I just want to show you, at the moment, the address here is 2235 Gateway Access Drive in Raleigh, and this is in the web. If we go to our client, you'll see the address is 2235 Gateway Access Drive Raleigh here. So let's just edit our client's details in the web. And let's just change it to 2240. What this is now doing is saving that change directly back to my database that sits in my office. See, it says 224 here. If we go in now to Steve, unfortunately, running several things at once on a machine doesn't always help it along, but you will see contact address in a moment. And there it is, 2240 Gateway Access Drive. So I'm just closing out of those now. I will point out as well that these, even though this is a on-premise product, this allows you to do things in real time on the web to your on-premise database. The next thing that I'd like to show you is Log Me In. So again, I mentioned the need not to go out and spend lots of money on terminal services and other costly services. Now, terminal services are actually a technology that have been around for a very, very long time. They've allowed remote work access since the 1990s, and they are very, very useful and reliable. But they do require additional server power. That there are a lot of cloud remote products now that allow you to do that without the need to install a server. So the first one I want to show you is Log Me In. So if I show the taskbar here, let's go to my Log Me In. So here you'll see I have a whole range of machines that I have currently turned on at different places around the country. This desktop machine here is where I have my Time Matters installation located. So let's just click here to log onto the machine. And one of the really good things about Log Me In is that if you have dual screens, it will actually allow you to open up dual screens and sit them in two separate monitors on your own machine. So it actually is as if you are working in the office. And you can set up security so that what you do is you leave your machines on in the office. They lock so that people can't get into them. But Log Me In runs as what's called a service in the background and allows you to get into your machines. You can also synchronize your printers to Log Me In so that you can print directly from PCLaw or Time Matters while working in your own office. So let me just log in here. And here you can see I'm now logged into my desktop in another office with Time Matters running and everything else that I've been working on today. And right now I'm working on a remote machine. And this is without hardware like a terminal server. So that's just a bit of a practical tip. And it's not only useful for PC Law or Time Matters, it's actually advice for anything that you may wish to be using while you are working out of the office. You can use it to set up as many machines as you like, in fact. So that's a little bit about the working from home options that are available with the software right now. So to summarize, there's PC Law and Time Matters Go, PC Law and Time Matters Web, and if you want to work in the full desktop experience without investing in substantial amounts of hardware, LogMeIn is a great solution, a great cost-effective solution. I currently use it. They've got a working from home special on right now, which is about, I think it was about 30 or 40% off from memory, and it allows you to run up to 5 machines at a time. So the next thing I want to talk about is our PT learning resources. In June, not 2019, we first ran a webinar where I addressed all of you and spoke about the things that we would be working on in our first year of operation. And one of those things was creating really good resources for all of you in our customer base. And we've spent a lot of time employing people and creating online tools to provide a much better support experience. We've been doing that in tandem with working on our software to provide new releases and new opportunities from a software perspective. But ultimately, bringing up new systems to provide you a better support experience is something that we needed to give priority to, because when you start a new business, you actually don't have any of those things. And as of June, we were a new business. So I just want to take you through our PT community. So the first thing is we've designed communities dependent on where you are located. We have designed a community for the US and a community for Canada. At software level, there isn't a lot that's different. Previously, Go was not available in Canada, but PC Law Go has now been available in Canada for several months. We felt that it was very, very important for businesses, law firms in the US and Canada to have access to the exact same level of tools as each other. And ultimately, the reason why we've split them into two separate communities is because it allows us to deal with things like terminology a little more easily. So if we go into the community here for the United States, we'll select which product. I'm going to select Time Matters today. So you would enter your credentials here as a PC Law or Time Matters user. Because I work for PT, I'm going to log in down here in the little secret section. So the first thing that's available that you will see here is our answer center. You'll note that allows us to do a lot of things, like get product help, run frequently asked questions, look at common tasks, and look at product documentation. It's your one-stop shop for finding answers about the software. This is built on the Salesforce platform. It allows us to build out a very world-class and flexible community for everybody to be involved in. So what you'll see is because the whole range of commonly viewed articles in here. So for instance, if we wanted to know how to change a firm name in Time Matters, we would go to how to change a firm name. And you'll see that here we have a step-by-step instruction guide on how to change a firm name. So there is a lot of material that is available to us there in that part of the community. But there's still a lot more in there as well. we can access support here too. So what you'll notice by accessing support, there are a few different ways in which we can do that now. So the regular way is by telephone. You'll see you can get access. You will eventually be able to have access to your history of support cases so that you can do things like reopen cases that you need to reopen. But the big thing we have down here is you will see this Time Matters support chat. So in any screen throughout the communities, you have a chat window available to you. And here you can communicate directly with one of our Raleigh or Toronto-based level 1 support team, who can then route your call up through level 2 and level 3, all also based in either Raleigh or Toronto, for you to receive chat assistance from. And now one of the things about chat assistance is it really does allow us to maintain a level of efficiency. And thinking about working from home, it really is about maintaining that level of efficiency. And I've gotten to the point in my life where if there isn't a chat support function, I get quite irritated because it means I need to stop doing what it is that I'm doing in my life, so that I have to wait on hold with somebody on the phone. Say let's say Amazon if I'm looking for a package, or I need some help with something. Whereas chat allows you to go about your daily activities while doing the same, while multitasking and having a chat window open that you're working on in your own time while doing other things as well. So it seems to be, it's much more of an efficiency saving opportunity. And I encourage everybody to try it and provide us feedback on how you feel about it once you have it. You'll see coming soon here, we also have what's called an Ideas Hub. So you'll be able to come into communities and you'll be able to post ideas that you have for our product team about what you would like to see in the software. And what that'll allow for is other users to actually vote on the system. So they'll be able to vote it up or vote it down. And that really helps us when we're looking at the viability and the potential popularity of new features. And that all is considered by our product and development teams when we are thinking about what needs to go into the software. You will also be able to renew your AMP in this section very shortly and do things like add additional users to your system. We also have a whole range of resource videos here. So Kelly McNamee, our VP of Customer Success and her team, who only really started with us in August, and the team has grown out since then, have put together a whole range of video resources that you can watch at your leisure to learn more about our systems. All the webinars that we do are also recorded here for you to visit and watch when you have the time to do so. PT University, before I get to PT University, in fact, our professional services. So we have a fantastic team of certified independent consultants across the country that can help in all manners of software advice. They help with software setup, they help with hardware advice, they help with bookkeeping, they're Time Matters specialists, they're PCLaw specialists, and they're a very, very important part of our PT ecosystem. And right now, more than ever, they are providing really insightful services about how to work from home. I've been watching a whole range of great webinars that have been popping up online, some really practical advice. I mean, I did see one the other day by Circle about using Zoom as a video conferencing tool. Zoom is, in my personal opinion, the most easy to use video conferencing tool that I've come across and most reliable. And I'd suggest taking a look at that for running virtual conferences with your clients and with courts where that's an option. So if we go to find a certified partner today, if you're ever looking for a partner to assist you, you'll see that we can come into this section here and you can search for partners based on location and based on specialty as well. And then, last but not least, we now also have PT University. PT University is a whole range of online courses that have been designed for you to learn more about our software with on-demand, but also live training sessions. What you will see is there are some of these that are currently charged for, and others that are accessible as part of your AMP. The ones that are currently charged for, we will be providing all of our customer base, everybody on AMP with a code, so that they will be accessible for free. We understand that things are difficult at the moment, and we know that you're going to be looking to your software to provide you efficiencies, and we want to make that easy for you. So to make that easy for you, we are definitely going to be making all of these courses available to all AMP customers at no fee for the foreseeable future. The other thing we also have here is an innovation timeline. So innovation timeline, if you would like to keep up with what we've been doing for the last 9 months and beyond, I'm just going to take us back to the beginning so that you can have a look at what we're providing here. So the first thing is that we have 2019, June 2019, we commenced a whole range of client visits. We visited a lot of our customers seeking feedback on our software, our service, and asking what we could improve on. And in the first 6 months of doing that, we attended well over 100 of our customers' firms and learned a lot about what we can do to improve our software. So a lot of that information is being collated at the moment and being funneled into the development pipeline for future enhancements and innovation. Now, all of that communities and PT university work has been put together by our client success team. So a pivotal date for us was in August 2019, when we set up our client success team for the first time and began hiring. In September 2019, we held our very first CIC conference as PT. We had an overwhelming attendance. We had more than 100 legal technology experts from around Canada and the United States visiting. A number of our partners visited, and we got a great amount of feedback as to what we can do to enhance the CIC program, enhance our systems, and we also learned what we could do to put in better levels of assistance for our CICs as well. In 2019, we took a decision to include PCLaw Go and Time Matters Go with your AMP. Up until then, it was in fact a additionally paid add-on service. Our view is that in the modern world, being able to work on the go, and as we know today, being able to work from home. So we decided to bundle that with the AMP, so it was no longer an additional fee. So AMP users have access to both PCLaw Go and Time Matters Go. If you're not making the most of them, I'll say it again, go to communities, log a support call, download the instructions, and put them on your phone. In October 2019, we released PCLaw version 16.5, which had a whole number of enhancements that are available for users. We also grew our customer support team substantially in Raleigh and Toronto. We did say in June that one of our main priorities was to ensure local jobs for local people in Raleigh and Toronto, and that we have been consistently working on. At the very first webinar that we ran in June, we had about 34 employees working for our business directly. As of today, we have 73. So we have been steadily employing people to add to the service experience of our customer base. In December, we rolled out a whole range of new internal systems, giving our staff the best possible tools they could possibly have to help service our customer base better. Given that we didn't have any tools available on day one, this was a very impressive effort from all those involved in the team, and all systems went live at the beginning of December. In January, we released a new version of Time Matters 16.5, and that introduced e-filing along with a whole range of other upgrades to our system. The thing about e-filing is that it allows you to integrate with our partner InfoTrack, who is our e-filing partner, and our e-signature partner, and I'll come to that in a moment. But as our e-filing partner, they actually attend to the filing integration with the courts on your behalf. So what that means is if you're creating a document in Time Matters, you need to file with a court, then you can actually file it straight from the Time Matters desktop and have any responses in relation to that filing automatically saved back to your Time Matters matter. That means that you don't need to go to your court's website and refill all the information that you already have available in Time Matters. You simply need to click on the document you wish to file, select e-file, and complete the form in InfoTrack, and the rest will just work for you. Particularly now where we have a number of courts closed, I would think the majority of courts closed, the amount of in-person filing has been greatly reduced where courts are still open. This is an opportunity to still be effective where you do have cases that are still eligible for filing in the courts around the country. We released Go with a new version of Go with a whole new range of modernization features, things like facial recognition for unlocking the app have been included. As I mentioned earlier, we're very, very close to releasing new versions of Go again with a lot more new functionality. By middle of January, we'd in fact released new versions of every piece of software in our stable within a year. So between June and January, we in fact released new versions of Go for both Time Matters and PCLaw. We released new versions of PCLaw and new versions of Time Matters, and we have a new development cadence in cycle, a new development cycle cadence that is going to allow for us to deliver a lot more frequently with a lot more new innovation. I mentioned customer support as far as chat goes, and I spoke a lot about PT University as well, and PT Community. So those are some of the internal innovations that we've put in place to allow for external enhancements. In this portal here as well, there will shortly be available an event calendar where you will be able to sign up to virtual user groups and webinar schedules. Now, I should point out that we have embarked on a range of user group events over the last 9 months, and we hope to do a lot more. We found that they were very useful for all in attendance. They're always hosted by a very, very skilled certified consultant. And what we are going to do is move all of those now to be virtual user groups. When things return to normal, we'll return to in-person user groups, but we're looking to ramp up the number of virtual user groups that we deliver to our customer base. So back to the slides. Now, we also note that this is a time when there may be some downtime for you in your firm and in your business. What we do know from experience is that quite often we leave things like our CPD and CLE credits to the last moment. And if there ever is any downtime, it would probably be a good idea to get ahead on things like CPD and CLE. So we work very closely with a number of bar associations, and a lot of those bar associations have taken steps to provide major amounts of assistance to the legal profession when it comes to COVID-19. A lot of their CLE has been moved to online and on-demand formats. And I know, for example, New York City, I've been in communication with the New York City Bar quite regularly. New York City, as you are all aware, is not great right now when it comes to the virus. And New York City Bar have taken a major leadership role in keeping the community aware of what's happening, providing their lawyers incredible services to access incredible amounts of assistance. And they've also driven a lot of online learning initiatives from a CLE and CPD perspective. So you will see there, these images do contain links to Bar Association websites that will provide you with CLE and CPD on-demand and online resources So Ontario, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Florida, Texas, California are all bar associations that are doing that. I'm sure many of you are also members of more localized bar associations and other state bar associations. I would recommend checking with them too, because the bar association network is clearly mobilized to provide options to everybody. And the thing about spending some time doing CPD and CLE now, as I mentioned, when business resumes as normal, that's something you don't have to worry about. It gives you more time to getting your business back underway and less time spent having to catch up on CPD and CLE. The other option there is Lawline. Lawline is a paid CPD service that I've met with a couple of times, and they offer CPD and CLE points throughout the United States. So if your bar association doesn't have anything on offer, or if you are in a state where a bar association doesn't have items on offer, it might be worth taking a look at Lawline and seeing what they can offer in your state as well. The other thing that bar associations are doing right now are providing a whole range of assistance programs to people who are affected by COVID-19. Here are some links to those programs. We did include a link here to the New York City Bar Association Lawyer Assistance Program that they are running at the moment, that they run in general. Many bar associations, particular state bar associations, do run lawyer assistance programs. I think in Massachusetts, off the top of my head, it's called Lawyers Helping Lawyers. So there are a lot of opportunities out there. I think we need to remember that the longer we're indoors, the longer bad things are happening outside, the tougher this is likely to get for us emotionally. And there are resources out there to help. At PT, we are providing our staff with access to fitness applications, to discount online personal training, but also to an employee assistance program where if this does start to get very, very difficult, there are professional people that are available to talk to who can help and will listen. And I think it's very important that we take a look at this resource page, take a note of it. This is available for download. And like I said, we're all in this together and we're all in this to help each other, and the bar associations are absolutely driving that community spirit right now. The next thing I want to talk about is a remote working as your remote equipment. So as I mentioned earlier, from moving home several times and from experience from working from home, I know that it can be very, very difficult to get everything right in one go. So what we've prepared for everyone is a blog that provides tips from working from home. So the idea is to provide software tips, but also very, very practical tips as well. This is available in a blog, and we will be updating this blog. So I'll just take you to that. So what you will see here is we have 5 essential remote work tips from PCLaw Time Matters. So we'll just scroll through it a little bit. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is space. So we are working in an environment right now which is very different to what we normally work in. The best thing we can possibly do is make our space as business-like as possible. If we have a spare room that can be converted into an office, let's convert that spare room into an office. It's obviously ideal, but that's not necessarily the case that everyone can do that. As you can see, I'm sitting here in my living room. We've converted half of the living room into a 2-person space. What we've done is we've made sure, and I'll talk about equipment in a moment, we've made sure that we've got desks for both people. We've got the equipment on the way if it's not already here, and we're making it as work-like as we possibly can. We've even got a little stand-up desk in the bedroom so that we can go in there with the door closed if one of us needs to do a teleconference or the other one also has to do a teleconference. So even if you don't have the option of having an office as the additional space, there are other options. Some pro tips about the space. Turn off, unless you work all day in the office with a TV on, turn off the TV. It can become a distraction, particularly if you're running the news on it all day at the moment. We all love our pets, and I think it's important to take a mental health break, spend some time with your pets during the day. But it's important to also make sure that we're not overly distracted by our pets, because that does decrease our efficiency while working from home. And if you do need to share space, make use of noise cancelling headphones. I don't like to wear them while running a webinar because I think they look a little bit weird, but noise cancelling headphones for in case we both need to do webinar, well, not webinars, but video conferences at the same time. Equipment. So I will say, where possible, now's not the time to try and save costs on equipment. The better the equipment is when working from home, the better the experience is going to be. That's the same in the office, but it's particularly important when working from home, because some of the things that you have in the office you take for granted. So for instance, thinking about your internet plan. Generally, people at home have a much slower internet plan, a cheaper internet plan than they would have with a commercial internet service. But companies out there do offer very, very good plans. And at all of my locations that I work from home in both New York and Raleigh, I have the highest level of internet available. And in Raleigh, in fact, AT&T offers a 1000 megabit per second home connection for under $100 a month. That's near commercial speeds, and it is very, very stable and very, very good. Because when you think about it, the use of your network changes. You're no longer just streaming movies and things like that. You're doing everything that you used to do within your office. Okay, and if you are able to cable your computer to a router to achieve maximum speed, that is the preferred option. If you're unable to cable it though, you can certainly invest in a heavy-duty Wi-Fi router. The first thing I did when I knew I was going to be working from home in New York, in Raleigh, I already had the setup, but in New York, was invest in a router that cost me about $250, $300. My recommendation is if you don't know what to look for, just type in gaming router. That's the quickest way to make sure you get a good home router. I don't know if you can see the big thing that looks like a pineapple in the corner over there, but that is running a number of devices right now and running them particularly well. So we also want to make use of multiple monitors. That enables us to get a lot more work done. Right now I'm running multiple monitors. I'm able to see my presentation on one side and I'm able to see what I'm showing you on the other side. I wouldn't be able to do this as easily with only one monitor. I would say also invest in a very solid computer. One thing that I did when I realized that we would be working from home is I had a number of laptops here that were about 4 years old, 5 years old. So the one I'm running right now is actually a 4 or 5 year old modest machine, but having rebuilt it with a new Windows set, it still operates exceptionally well. You can now pick up machines that run at this rate brand new for about $700. This machine was an expensive one back when it was purchased, but you know, we are able to get very good machines at very reasonable prices at the moment. Invest in a comfortable chair. You're going to be spending a lot of time in it. Again, when I realized I was going to be working at home for an extended period, I ran out and bought a really cool chair. It's not terribly popular around the house, but I needed a comfortable chair. The next is to invest in a stand-up desk if you can. There are stand-up adapters that are reasonably priced. That allows you to give your legs a stretch every now and then. A good webcam. We're going to be doing a lot of video conferencing. And the things that I always found that I would forget was HDMI and Ethernet cables. Buy as many HDMI and Ethernet cables as you can find because you're going to need them. Don't forget the power cable extensions. Buy a good printer. Try to get a printer that allows you to operate the same way you could in the office. I've got one right here. Don't forget the ink, the paper. Make sure that you can use it as a scanner. And also investing in a top of the range smartphone means that you can do a lot of work in another room if your partner does need to be in a shared space and you can't be in there at the same time. Also have lots of batteries. Lithium ion are the best, they're long lasting. It means you're not forever running out of batteries for your wireless mouse or wireless keyboard. I talk about routine as well. So be effective at home. Maintaining your regular routine is very, very important. It'll assist in keeping you mentally focused and ensure productivity. I would suggest waking up at the same time every day as if you're going to the office. Eat at the same times as if you're going to the office. Where you can, exercise as you would when working from home. The gyms are closed at the moment. I love going there and lifting some weights. So I did purchase some bands to do exercise with, and that's what I've been doing at the exact same time that I previously would have gone to the gym every day to try and keep that routine going. We've also negotiated a special rate with a partner of ours, a Second You Foundation, who is offering PT customers a greatly discounted online personal training, personal exercise opportunity. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Dress as though you're going to work. Just because we're doing virtual meetings shouldn't mean we should stop wearing pants. I mean, I'm wearing jeans at the moment. We've got to make sure that we keep high levels of standards. Keeping high levels of standards ensures that we continue to have high levels of productivity. Also suggest managing your time by writing down the top 5 or 6 priorities and creating an agenda for your day. I in fact do this sometimes anyway when I'm very busy. There was a book called by a gentleman named Chet Holmes called The Ultimate Sales Machine. And it was, don't let it fool you, it wasn't just about sales, but one tip in it was you can only ever really do 5 to 6 main things a day. So track them out on an agenda for your day, give them allocated amounts of time, and ensure that you manage your day like that. The other thing we've been doing is internally we run what are called huddles, and they're run daily and they're stand-up 15-minute meetings. And we've proposed now doing them twice a day, once in the morning with one question, what are you doing today? And in the afternoon with one question, what did you accomplish today? And that keeps our teams aligned, working together, and ensures it doesn't get crazy lonely while sitting at home. So I spoke a lot about the PCLaw Go and PCLaw Web products, and here are some links that are available to you for more information about that. We've got some pro tips here. I spoke about Log Me In. Now, look, we do understand that at this point in time, people are likely to want to review their business systems to future-proof against future events like this. And we are certainly here to help. As part of our joint venture with Leap, Leap is the only official and authorized cloud data migration partner of PT. So we understand that in the middle of all of this, system changes are very, very difficult. Adding something like that to an already stressful environment could be very difficult. If you are looking to move to the cloud now and you would like assistance, please don't hesitate to contact us or our cloud partner. In addition, I would recommend, even if you are not looking to change, I would suggest taking a good look at your technology right now and having a think about what you can start improving so that when this is behind us, your business can come out and be much more efficient and beat the competitors that way. Our partner InfoTrack allows 2 things. So I mentioned e-filing. The other thing InfoTrack provides is a product called Sign It. So Sign It is in fact driven by a relationship with DocuSign. Now, DocuSign has been incredible for revolutionizing the way we take signatures. And if you're in the office and you don't want to meet with a client face-to-face, obviously because of social distancing, there's no reason things like retainers can't be signed using the combination of e-signatures and Zoom. Or there might be other documents. I actually sign all of my documents electronically now, but I haven't yet come across anybody that doesn't accept them. So what you will see is that InfoTrack offers a service that's powered by DocuSign, and it integrates with your case management systems. But the really cool thing about it is that it actually allows you to pay for the DocuSigns that you use in their product called Sign It on a individual case-by-case basis, so per document that's signed, which then allows that to be captured as a cost recovery or a disbursement. We try to use that if we're doing work that needs to be charged on a case-by-case basis, and it means that you don't actually have to pay for a monthly subscription to DocuSign, which is the usual DocuSign setup. So if you're looking for a unique way to adapt e-signing into your business that is specifically designed for lawyers and lawyers only, then InfoTrack is a good option, and it is a partner of ours that we work with. And I anticipate down the track that there may be some type of integration available in the e-signing space. What you will see as well is that if you do wish to sign up for Sign It, on this blog page, there is an option here where you can go to the Sign It sign up page and sign up for the InfoTrack services. So again, there's no reason why you still can't do things like get retainers signed, get other documents signed, while successfully maintaining social distancing. Implementing soft phones such as 3CX means that you have effectively a software phone that you can run off any device anywhere. There are options such as Slack and Microsoft Teams that allow you to communicate with your teams as though you're sitting across the office from them. They're great collaboration tools. We use them internally ourselves. And Zoom is a video conferencing product that we've found to be very, very useful. You know, when I was at Leap, we were using it when I first moved to the United Kingdom, so that was 6 years ago, and it was leaps and bounds ahead of the competition then when it came to usability and quality, and it seems that they've built upon that constantly. So Zoom is another really good option for you to meet with your clients and conduct other business operations with. Here we've prepared a list of everything you would need. So if you do need to set up a home office, you just run through here and add the items to your Amazon cart, you'll be underway. These were available in Amazon at the time of preparing this list. They may not be now. Some of the advice that I would give you if you are looking for hardware for your home office, there are other options. Amazon has slowed down services a little bit now to cater for the most important deliveries that are required, the essential deliveries. But Best Buy, Wayfair, from a furniture perspective, they all still have a lot of stock, and they are all still delivering at very reasonable speeds. To test my theory, I put a office hardware order in on Saturday. It's Friday today. The last pieces are arriving this afternoon. So it's about 6 days at the moment. If you do it all off Amazon, you can probably get it done a bit more quickly if you look at something like a Best Buy or a Wayfair. Now, if you do decide to set up a home office and you need help with that, we've been in contact with some of our CICs who have offered to provide 2 levels of service. One is where they will source the equipment for you, have it delivered to you, and go through setting it up with you. They have their own rates, so that would need to be discussed with them. But they have said that they would be prepared to walk people setting up their home offices over the phone. So you can either acquire your own hardware or you can talk to them about the hardware, but either way, they'll be able to help you set your home office up over the phone. And we're hoping to bring more CICs onto that program as we go. Okay, so a few things here. So I mentioned LexPath and Circle Management being very good at offering their assistance to our customer base if they need to be walked through setting up a home office. We've spoken a lot about InfoTrack. So one of the things that we're trying to do at PT is, you know, we feel that if we can set up little microeconomies around the legal profession, that we can actually all help each other really, really well. And if we're fortunate enough to be sitting at home working, that means that we are drawing an income. What I've done personally, and I'm not saying everyone has to do this, but to try and keep the community functioning in my own little way, I have cleaners that are unable to do their job. I have a personal trainer that's unable to do their job. I have a barber that's unable to do their job. So what I've agreed with them is I'm going to continue paying them as I normally would. And then when they're able to return to work, then they will provide me a discount service until the amount that I've subsidized for them is realized. And in my view, if that never happens, well, that's also fine. You know, when we make deals like this, my view is always that we need to be prepared to part with the money if we have to. And ultimately, it ensures that they are not feeling any more strain than already needed. I am also using any money that I save from not having to travel to and from the office any day I'm redirecting that to paying additional tips to Instacart shoppers because shopping is an essential service. I am trying to ensure that all of those people are very well looked after. When I look at the fact that I'm not traveling anywhere at the moment, rather than save that money, I'm trying to reinvest it back into the people that are providing essential services. So they're just some ideas. The other things here you will see is we have done a deal with a Second You Foundation. The Second You Foundation is a not-for-profit who helps formerly incarcerated people reintegrate into society by becoming personal trainers. They have incredibly tough acceptance criteria, and they have a 0% recidivism rate. So they're doing things for society at the moment, and they have been hit pretty hard by this because personal training can't take place in New York City. So we've come to an agreement where they will be offering heavily discounted training to PT clients. All you need to do is let them know that you're a client of PCLaw and Time Matters. The details are there. You can click on it in the pack. They're offering 2 different types of online video personal training session that you can take part in. So if you are a person who loves to exercise but can't do it without a personal trainer or a spotter or a motivator, just like me, that's a real opportunity there. The other thing that I would highly recommend is a gentleman named Vern Harnish, author of Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. Before we needed to start implementing measures around social distancing, etc., we were working on a program whereby we would have attorneys, or we would have Vern's key workshop called Scaling Up, in which he was personally going to keynote. We were going to run that for attorneys in New York City, but also invite our attorneys and CICs from around the country. Unfortunately, that needed to be delayed. But the reason I'm actually, and we will be doing that again when the world permits us, but I would highly recommend subscribing to Vern's column. Vern Harnish has been providing almost daily recommendations, daily bits of advice about what we can be doing to prepare our business, our small business, for what is happening right now, what we can do to spark growth upon the exit from all of this. And his advice is respected by Fortune 500 companies around the world, and his daily practical advice has been life-changing for many of us. So I highly recommend checking out Vern Harnish's column. And I did mention previously that we have a partnership with Leap, who have, what they've actually done is they've converted their installation model to allow for online implementation and training at the moment, particularly for firms that are migrating from PCLaw or Time Matters. As I said, as I understand, now might not be the time to be thinking about moving systems. I know that things are very stressful already, but it's also a good idea to reassess your business systems for when the time's right. So as I mentioned earlier, by virtue of our joint venture, they are our only authorized data conversion partner in the world. We only have 1 set of engineers, and those engineers are able to work with Leap to work on much more detailed data migrations than have ever been done in the past. So thank you all for listening to our working from home package, as we call it. What we really wanted to do was to show you the options that you have, both using your current systems from working from home, what you can do if you need new systems, how you can get them, but also to offer some really practical advice from a business perspective about what you can do to make your working from home experience that little bit better. Going forward, we would like to do this more regularly with different focuses. So if there's any business specific focuses, anything you think we could help you understand better, we would love the feedback, and we'll look at factoring that into future webinars. As I said at the beginning, we're all in this together. If PT can help you with some advice, be it in a webinar, be it over the phone, our team are here, and we're ready to work with anybody that needs it to get through this time. Thank you. Over to you, Cameron.
All right, thank you, Chris, for that very informative session. So we covered a lot today. I do want to remind everybody that the current presentation is available in the handout section on the webinar control panel. And I would like to cover a couple of questions that have come in, Chris.
Sure.
If you want, so you have the questions pane available on your panel as well. If you want to open it up, I've already been chatting with a few of you as we've been going through the webinar. But if you'll see some in there that you may want to address yourself.
Okay. One of the questions actually was that what is the PCLaw support staffing like right now? Are you fully staffed remotely? Yes, we are. Are the call volumes higher now? They were higher in the beginning. They seem to have settled down a little bit now as people have started to settle into the new paradigm. They have returned to normal levels. We've got some really great feature suggestions here that we will certainly get to. Cameron, I think you've covered off on them. So one of the questions is, does the PCLaw web have all the same functionality as the desktop? It does. It doesn't. The idea is to provide the ability to work from home, as if you were a regular staff member using the product. When it comes to bookkeeping functionality, that would need to be done in the main product. That said, with our development strategy next week, we will be looking to add additional functionality to the web option to start trying to bring some of that feature parity in line. It looks like, Cameron, you've got into most of this. Does Sign It currently integrate with Time Matters, or you anticipate that it will in the future? We do anticipate that it will in the future. It's not right now. That said, the e-filing integration was the first priority. But given that the e-filing integration has been implemented, we're doing some tweaks on it. But the same type of integration can be used to be expanded to Sign It. And so that you can capture cost recoveries, we'll be looking to do it in both PCLaw and Time Matters. So the short answer is not right now, but I do expect that to take a little bit of a more renewed approach, a more focused approach, given everything that's happening right now when we attend our strategy meeting next week. And I don't want to speak on behalf of InfoTrack, but I think they would be happy to get us get it integrated as well. I didn't see the question about toilet paper. Sorry, there's one thing I can't advise on right now. I mean, old socks. That's desperate times. There was an item here. So too bad there wasn't a partnership with more useful than online personal trainers. I'm not sure what that was in relation to. Michael, if you want to let us know what partnerships that you think could benefit you outside of the realm of software that we could potentially initiate, we would love to do that. I think that when taking a look at the community right now, any way that we can expand partnerships outside of our immediate space helps us, as I mentioned earlier, form kind of micro economies around our own communities, our PCLaw customers, our PCLaw firms. You know, the reality is there's going to need to be legal work by the partners that we've done for the partners that we suggest. So, you know, if we can create a little micro economy around new partnerships that may run in parallel to what it is that we do, we'd love to hear it. I'd be more than happy to reach out to anyone to facilitate those types of partnerships. There was a question, it says, not sure if there's a question you can answer now, but typically when I prepare the pre-bill and final bills, I send the invoices to a copier and the attorney reviews. Yes, our help desk should be able to help you get that up and running. Kayla, if you log a help desk call, they should be able to help you with your question. Office located in Canada. We have the stationary PCLaw. What do I need to do to set up PCLaw Go and PCLaw Web and Time Matters both? If you visit our communities page and log a support call with our help desk, they will be able to help set you up with that. So there's a question about where are the cloud or servers for Canadian clients located. Angelina, the way we actually work is that the Go products actually don't store any information at all. So the servers themselves are actually in your office. The products, what they do is they actually route the information to your server. So that information that's being transmitted only goes from your office to your server, and nothing is stored in between. Reg, if you want to join the PCLaw community and you're looking for your account ID, if you go into help in PCLaw, I need to find that, so just give me a second. Might take me a minute to get to that. So I might just point out that if you go to help in PCLaw, that will get you to where you need to be. Apologies for that. Just give me a second, I'll see if I can get it for you now. There's a question here while I'm finding that is, does TM Go give access to contacts? That's being worked on at the moment. It doesn't right now, but that is one of those features that we understand that people are looking for. So there's a question about the security access for these remote options. All the security access settings are completely controlled by your administrator in PCLaw through the regular, or Time Matters through the regular settings. If you go to options here, if we look at administrator and go to security, you can actually set all the mobility option securities under the regular users. So the question on finding your account number for logging in to communities is here. If we go to license, it should be that 5-digit serial number. So if you go to help and go to license, you enter the 5-digit serial number and you'll be able to get access to communities. If you're having a problem doing that, if you just want to let us know, we will solve that for you. Is it correct that Go is now included in the price of PCLaw? Yes, it is. If you have an active AMP with PCLaw, you have access to Go. If so, do I call if email and passwords? So if email and password is not working on getting the setup done, Michelle, if you want to go to that chat functionality inside communities, you'll be able to get hold of somebody there to help you, or you can call the help desk as well. So Lucas asked about integration with a payment system. Yeah, so as it stands right now, we are working on payment system integrations with PCLaw. There is one available already that you can sign up to through the PCLaw settings, but we are looking to expand it out to other providers as well. Debbie asked if we have any handouts for the pro tips. So attached to this webinar, there is a handout. In that handout, there is a link. So if you go to the working from home page, the link at the bottom will take you to the pro tips.
And I also just want to point out that with that handout, all of the links that Chris has gone through and today's presentation will be available for you through that handout.
Bob, you asked about e-filing, if it's now part of Time Matters or is it something that needs to be added by a third party? So e-filing itself is part of Time Matters. The filing is handled by our partner company called InfoTrack. So you would not need to sign up for an account with them, but our software talks directly to them. So the actual interface of how you would do it is done within the software to get it filed. So there have been a few questions about Go and AMP. I want to be clear to everyone, Go is available to anybody who has AMP at no extra fee, as is the web. So everything we've shown today is included as part of your AMP at no additional fee. Okay. So again, there are quite a few questions here about the community pages. So what we will do is get an email out to everybody who has attended with some step-by-step instructions on logging in, on how exactly to log in and sign up for communities. We certainly appreciate you drawing it to our attention that it's not as easy to log in as we would like. So we will get an email to you with all of the information that you need. Minerva, if you go to get help on that, if you can provide your information to Cameron, and we will get our help desk to reach out to you directly.
Yes, and I will, just to follow up on that, so I have a list of everybody that's here today. So what I will do is I'll follow up from this webinar with an email to you all with your account ID.
So I think we'll finish there. I just want to say again, thank you everybody for taking the time to attend this webinar. We would love very much to provide you with more educational webinars. And if you can give us feedback on areas that you would like to hear about, it doesn't necessarily need to be about PT. It could be in relation to how our business is handling the situation at the moment and whether we might have tips for you. We are prepared to, we would be very happy to run webinars on any of those types of topics. So please, if you want something specific, we're here. Let us know. We'd love to invite you into our own homes again.
Absolutely. So thank you once again, Chris, for all the information that you provided here. Very helpful. That does conclude today's webinar. And thanks again to Chris for providing all of this information for everybody. Just as a reminder, a recording of this webinar will be sent to all of you tomorrow. So you'll have a recording of this webinar. Make sure you download the handout that's available right now. That's your own copy of this presentation with all the links to everything that you need. So just thank you all for your time today, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.